morning, everybody. I hope to have all my tech stuff worked out. I got a whole new setup if you just tuned in to KBCN TV. So we are downsizing, purging. We're just a couple of weeks out from moving abroad. So there's a lot of shifting and moving parts. My office has been reconfigured so that I can get rid of some things without it looking completely bare. I'm on an air mattress, Jen, and we trying to work it all the way out. So I've lost my boom mic. I'm just getting used to a whole different setup. I feel weird. I feel like I'm not even the same. But people are like, where are you? In the same office. Just turn the other way. Let's go. Great morning, everybody. Jill, good to see you in the building. Dr. James is in the building. Of course, Jen on stage here with us. Christine, Cherie. Oh, we have no agenda, really. Only vibes all week. I'm not so sure if this was a great idea. I'm feeling the control freak come out. Like we should have an agenda or something. I don't know. It's a season finale. I'd like to think we should have planned something major for this other than just hanging out. But I'm feeling this all on the back end, Christine. Nothing I can do about it now. Ain't nobody had no energy to be planning nothing. It's like, Coach, we barely here. You kidding me? Well, I'm glad you guys are here. Grand Rising, great morning. How was your weekend? Let's go around the room on this season finale week. Let's go. Cherie, you up first, and Christine, Jen, Rocky just pulled up. Just going around the room, guys, find out how your weekend was as we warm up the room. And we get this party started. Cherie, come on.
Good morning, morning show. Good morning, everybody viewing us this morning, and those of you listening. So I want to invite those of you that are listening to jump over to YouTube or to Facebook or to KBCN or to LinkedIn so that you can view us this week for our season finale. And I put the link in the description for those of you on Clubhouse, so you guys can go ahead and jump on over so that you can view us. I had a great weekend. Yeah, we had a great weekend. My dear friends, I'm trying to see if she's in the room. She's not in the room yet. Is she? No. Phil and Maria came down. Maria and her husband came down to come see us this weekend. So saw them on Saturday. Right. What gracious. We had baby girl Friday.
Yeah, date night was
we
breaking this whole office down. That was a thing.
Yeah, we had her Friday night so mom and dad could go out. Then Saturday, my niece came.
No, babe. We didn't have.
No, that was Saturday.
Saturday morning.
Yeah, my days are running in together. Okay, we had baby girl Saturday, all day Saturday. And Saturday morning, my niece brought the movers over to come clean us out. Yeah, she took pretty much everything. So she left us with a few things, and I have movers coming this weekend to get the majority of the rest of the stuff out. But then yesterday was a great day. We celebrated my dad's 89th birthday early. We had a brunch. My aunt, his sister, came up. He hadn't seen her in a couple of months. She came over with my cousins. We had the whole family there, and so we had brunch. So that was a good time. He had a great time. So yeah. So now it's back to finishing packing.
Listen.
Getting up out of here.
Listen, Cherie, all I know is I was sitting on the back porch with your dad, and he just kept saying everything was so nice. The spread, y'all really overdid it. Like everything was so tasty. That's his word, y'all. When you're 89, all you think about is where y'all going to go eat. That's all you think about. What y'all eating? Like, bro, we just finished brunch. What do you mean? What are we eating? What did we just eat? Oh, he was over the moon. He was over the moon. Christine, do you go through that with your dad? Like, that's all they think about in their, like, bro, like, there's other things to life than just eating. How was your weekend, lady?
Good morning. I had a great weekend. Yeah, that's about right. That's all they think about is food and how many times they can eat throughout the day and what they can eat. I had a great weekend, though. But, Coach, we need a cliffhanger. You know, every season finale has a cliffhanger. So,
yeah.
I don't know what that's going to be, but
we'll come up with one before the week is over. Maybe
y'all,
Rocky
that's
can
y'all
help us.
flamingos job. Yep. All the flamingos. Y'all figured out. I had a great weekend. The studio is amazing. We're getting ready for our show June 24th at the Arc Theater in Washington, D.C. Catch the link in my bio. But Sunday, my husband and I have a foundation and a private family foundation, and we have the amazing opportunity to give or donate to our church $10,000 for a cause that they are doing. So we were excited just about that. That was the highlight of my weekend, able to give back to the community. So,
Wow.
yeah, there's that.
Did you just say the Family Foundation gave away to the church house?
Yes.
See, we trying to, we on our way, y'all. That's the whole thing, Christine.
Yeah. I mean, you know, in business, you're always thinking about getting and building for yourself, but to have the opportunity to give back to other people who need it, you know, and especially in our community. We see so much around in the world, but to get back in your local community meant the most to us. So, yeah, thank God for that opportunity. So,
yeah,
that was my weekend.
I love it. I love it. For those of you guys just pulling up, great morning, Grand Rising. I almost like my new setup, Christine. The microphone is dead in my face. It's a whole thing. Like the lighting is better because I'm not at the window. And so I don't have to be worried about the natural lighting throwing off my camera. Yeah, I love it. Grand Rising, Jen. Great morning. How are you? How was your weekend? Looking fab. You are definitely on F this morning, I can tell.
Good morning. Yes, good morning show. My weekend was really good. So I attended a 4-hour workshop in Decatur where it's greater.
Yay.
And met some amazing people and have some very, very, very I'm losing words because I haven't had coffee, but it's some good things happening. Made some good connections, some super, super good connections. And then of course, I got my hair braided. And then Sunday, I finished it off with being in the room with Rocky. So that was all good. And then I went to bed on time. I didn't go to bed on time. Maybe that's why I'm dragging.
What did we do last night? What pray tell had us up? Was it a show?
Taylor was braiding my hair.
Gotcha.
So we did get done late. And you know, when like for us, like we're doing it, we're watching TV. So we watch like a myriad of stuff. And I think the last thing we were watching is the Kevin Hart pranks thing. And yeah, the kind of end of my night was a blur because you know she was braiding my hair. So
a blur.
Me.
Listen, I can't say that I can relate, but yeah, I can see. I'm just grateful I don't have to go through all them things. God bless our women. God bless you guys. Like I'm not going through 6 hours of 4 hours of you fill in the blank. I'm not going through 2. I don't want to go to the barbershop and sit there for 30 minutes. Are you kidding me? So yeah, no, I love it. Tell Taylor we said, hey, it's been a minute. Good to know that she's doing all the things with mama. Y'all, this is the season finale. If you've not tuned in to YouTube, definitely click the link. It's in the chat if you're on Clubhouse and you can take a peek. By the end of the week, we're going to ramp this up. I don't know. By the end of the week, we're going to leave you on a cliffhanger and some other things, some ideas of what's to come. We are so excited, planning on so many things. And I'm grateful for this break, y'all. I really, really am grateful for the opportunity for us to just kind of step back. It's been 2.5 years, even before we get into the end of the season, the end of the week, Rocky. When we started out on this application 2.5 years ago, I had no idea that I would show up every day for 2.5 years. That was not on my agenda at all, as the meme would say, at all. Y'all in here cutting up and just looking. Listen. It was a whole thing. Rock, did you foresee this coming? That we would be hanging out going on 3 years later, Rock? Like really?
became a routine, a part of everything else. Did I foresee it? I don't think I guess that's a no. Yeah, no.
Yeah. It did become a routine, though. That's for sure. That is for sure. How was your weekend, Rocky? I hear we got a graduate in the room.
Yes. Well, she's at home right now, relaxing. But yes, she she graduated on Saturday. I was very, very proud. Me, my mom, my sister, and her sister went, and it meant a lot to me because I didn't get to see my oldest graduate, so I got to see her graduate. The funny thing was we saw the people we graduated with, and our kids are graduating. So it was also like a high school reunion because we don't leave Williamsburg apparently. So we did that Saturday. Then we went to go eat as a family, which was hilarious. And then Sunday I relaxed a little. I'm sorry, that night I went with the boo and we watched the Transformer movie. Very, very good movie. I've been a movie holic lately. The Transformer movie is very good. And then Sunday, I relaxed and I treated myself, Christine, to sushi. I dated myself, grabbed a book, read a book, Christine. I'm making Christine proud. I read a book, had some sushi, had me some sake, and went home and gamed and did my thing.
Listen, I need y'all to put down hottest movie of 2023 that you've seen. Best movie this year so far that you've seen. Put it in the chat. Rocky.
The best one was Spider-Man. I did see
I was getting ready to ask you about that. Was it good?
It's good. It's a cartoon. You never would have thought it was a cartoon. Never. Like, you don't even see it as a cartoon. And there's actually real life people in there as well. So they mix it all up. But it's so good, Coach. And they had cliffhangers. Y'all talking about cliffhangers. They had cliffhangers.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Cherie, I'm not sure what you're asking me to do. I see the thing, but I'm pushing buttons over here. But it's
change your picture in Clubhouse.
In Clubhouse?
Yes, to what we all have. It's in the IG back channel.
Okay, thank you. I couldn't read fast. You're welcome.
We're all uniform. You're out of uniform.
Help me. Oh, snap. My bad. Hey, Rocky, let me ask you a question. Was people dressing up for the Transformer movie?
What were they supposed to dress up as, Coach?
Like a Comic-Con thing. Like, you know, I don't know.
No, not for Transformers. For Spider-Man, they was going a little crazy. And people started walking in with masks. I'm like, whoa. Do I want to go in here right now? Like,
right.
This is bad. But no, it was good. And I went to the one in Hampton where you can, like, eat and drink. And, like, the chairs lean all the way back like a lounge. Bye, boo. Have a good day. Like a lounge. So it was nice.
Listen. Lean back. Lean back. Listen, I know I love it. I think I was on that because I thought about some of the Marvel movies, but you're right. They don't dress up for the Transformer. It's the Marvel movies people be going in. I don't know if anybody's ever experienced Comic-Con. Speaking about dressing up, one year we were in Atlanta, living in Atlanta, and we were downtown, and I was just trying to figure out where all these live characters were coming from. Like people walking around in the most vivid costumes, and it wasn't Halloween. So yeah, it was a whole thing. Great morning, everybody. I'm going to change my profile pic in a minute, Cherie, but I'm feeling a little groggy trying to wake up and get it all going. John is in the building. Grand Rising, sir. How was your weekend?
Good morning. My weekend was good. It was actually a great weekend. Very great weekend, man. Just sinuses draining, but outside of that, they say, young people say it was Gucci, so it was all good.
It was good. Hey, you know you officially old when you start saying what the young people would say, as the young folks would say. I thought I would never talk like that, John.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. Guess one of the kids was at camp and other one was here. A lot of moving pieces. Switched over to the summer season, so things are not as the movement is not as fast. It's consistent, but it's not as fast. And we appreciate a slow speed in the summertime. Looking forward to this break in all my businesses. So because we're breaking here, I'm breaking in all the business, KBC and everywhere else.
I love it. I love it. Here's what's crazy. I just can't get it together, Cherie. I just realized that all of y'all, when I PTR'd, first of all, to put my old picture in, I PTR'd and got realized that y'all got whole new badges here. Ain't nobody told me
I
nothing.
did tell you the message you didn't read, sir. It said get the image in the IG back channel. Sir,
Help me.
reading is fundamental.
Help me.
So while
Help
John is
me.
trying to get himself together,
Mm.
hey guys,
In Coach's defense, I think it's hard to run the show and do all the things.
Thank
Rocky,
you,
don't be on
Rocky.
his side today.
Rocky, thank
you don't
you.
get to be on his side today, Rocky.
Thank you.
No,
I
no,
liked how she proceeded the
no.
whole conversation
Flamingos
in
are not
Coach's
going to gang
defense.
up on me today. No,
Oh,
we're
snap.
not doing that.
Oh, snap.
So, what I wanted to ask everybody, let's talk about who was your favorite guest on the show this year. Can anybody think who was their favorite guest, either for Teach Me Tuesday or We All Need Some Help, the podcast? And for you guys that are watching or viewing us, put in the chat, put in the feed, who was your favorite guest this year? And who would you like for us to have back next season? That's probably even a better.
I like
Can I
that.
go?
Yeah,
Yes,
I like
go ahead,
that
John.
one.
Yeah, wonderful guest all year. Pastor Jamal for me. I forget his last name.
Oh, it ain't Bryant. No.
No.
Max.
no.
Max.
Max. By far for me was the most impactful for my whole 2 years. He kind of summed up the whole show. He summed up where I was and where I was going on his presentation and his impartation. So Pastor Jamal, just a phenomenal man, a former principal who is now awesome businessman, coach and leader, just was practical and on point for me.
I love it. I have to concur. Don't make me pick just one, Sheree. That is good. Come on, anybody else?
One out of your top 10. So we won't, it's not singular. Go ahead, Christine.
Yeah, it's hard to pick, but if I had to pick one, it would be Felix Anderson. He was powerful and resonated with me. In fact, I posted the other day, I have rivers of income and not streams of income.
That part.
Because streams get blocked, but rivers don't. So that meant the world to me. Yeah, that's still resonating with me.
Hey, real quick, let's do this, y'all, because this is going to mess some people up. As we're talking about these people's names, right? Invite them to the room. And y'all just, randomly, as you got, just go ahead and ping Dr. Felix Anderson and ping Pastor Jamal and ping these people in the room. They're going to wonder, why in the world are we getting inundated with all these invitations? Because we talking about y'all. And we need y'all to understand, listen, you meant something to us. This is the season finale week of season 2, marking 2 years into this game, y'all. And all week long, we're just going to be going back and we're going to be talking about best of exciting. Sheree's going to give you guys some information on, while we're on hiatus, how you can stay connected to the show, because we've got some things set aside for y'all, John. I'm just really excited. Anybody else? Top 10 out of your top 10. What was your favorite? Come on, Rock.
I'm going to go with Stephanie when she came up and did her interview. I'm not sure if it was on Tuesday or Wednesday, but I really like Stephanie personally, but also the fact that, what she does in her business, she's proof that consistency and finding the right strategy for you works if you continue to do it over, on repeat. And then also the way that she incorporates multiple things that she does. So she is a real estate person, but she knew that she had to learn social media. So now she's a master at social media for real estate agents because she had to learn it. So she was.
I love it. Let's invite them to the room, guys. Let's send them all an invitation if you can. I would love for these people to jump up on stage. The other thing is, here's what I do want to do as the show goes on today. I would love for y'all to, if you're in a position to pop up, maybe we'll get some people to come up and join us and talk about your favorite either Teach Me Tuesday, and just so that y'all know, we're actually doing some research. So as we are planning during our hiatus, how to curate the room, who to invite back, what are some things that you guys, you remember us talking about, maybe we haven't talked about it in a while. We're going to talk about that as we kind of relive this past season. Last time we did anything remotely close to this was last year around this time when we went on a road trip to Orlando, and it was a 3-week trip that we did on the road. Monty Weaver. Dominique, I'm telling you right now, Monty is a teacher's teacher for sure. a teacher's for sure. If he's going to get in any day this week, today probably would be the easiest day for him, Cherie. So guys, y'all do me a favor. As we're talking about these people, invite them to the room. Let me take a really, really, really quickly reset break. I just want to say it's been a phenomenal season this season. It's 7:20, 21 minutes after 7 o'clock here on the East Coast in the U.S. I'm Glenn P. Brooks Jr. Welcome to the morning show. All week long, we are in the middle of our season finale. So for those of you guys who are new to the application, and I'm getting this question quite randomly, are you guys leaving the app? No. Are you guys leaving for good? No. Think of a network television show, old people. Now, I know that, they don't do this as much as they used to, but y'all remember them days where Dynasty went off the air for the summer? You know what I'm saying? I know I'm dating myself. I'm doing it on purpose. Y'all remember when the Cosby Show went off the air for a season, right? It doesn't happen as much these days. Yeah. What were some of your favorite shows? You couldn't wait for them to come back. You know what I mean? It was crazy. It's like, yo, why would y'all do this to me? Well, they needed to go, let their actors kind of go breathe, take a break, do some different things, as well as reshoot the next season so that they could have some episodes for y'all and things like that. So that's kind of the things that we're going to be doing among a bunch of other stuff. Welcome to the room. We haven't done a roll call yet this morning. I just want to say thank you, Jill, for pulling up. Dr. Pam is in the building. Of course, James, the mad scientist. We call him the mad scientist because if anybody ever gets a chance to watch James, he's like that guy that has his head down and he's always doing. You never really see him, but you feel that he's in the room. So we appreciate him for helping us to be great, particularly on KBCN visually. But yeah, Tammy is in the building. Grand Rising, Tammy, good to have you in the building this morning. Maria is here. Maria, it was so good to see you and Phil this past week. I just got to say that out loud. So we went around the room before you got here, Maria, and asked people, how was their weekend? And Cherie just gloated and just, she got all red and stuff. That was just the most pleasant surprise I've had in a while. So I didn't even know y'all were coming until like the day before, right? Y'all have been talking, obviously. And so Cherie's like, Phil and Maria going to be here for the weekend. I was like, huh? My first thought, Maria, is, well, where they going to stay? Because we ain't got no more furniture. They taking our stuff. We giving stuff away. Like, what's that? She's like, nah, that's all worked out. And so we had a chance to go down to, look, y'all do me a favor. Check out my stories. Check out my Instagram. I'm going to be posting some stuff this week. We had an amazing weekend. So Maria is more than a teammate. Yeah, she is our executive assistant that runs our entire back end along with her team. But she's been a friend, personal friend, for almost, Cherie, you and I have been married 24 years. So that means we've known Maria and Phil for 23 years. Easy. It's crazy. So yeah, it was great having you guys down. We had a ball. And then they came past the 89th birthday celebration brunch for my father-in-law before they got out of town. We had to feed him real good. Something about that quiche. That crab, was it a crab quiche that Shantae made? Jesus, help me, God. Seafood quiche, that's what it was. Jesus. Karen, it's good to have you in the room. Dom, Marsha, Tessie, Mr. Fun is in the building. Nona, good to see you in the room this morning. Guys, we're going around the room and we're simply talking about, oh, hey, Kimmy, I'm sorry. I saw you down there in the background, sneaking in the back door like, you ain't want to be recognized. So we see you. You can't sneak in our room like that. Good to have you. Come on, Cherie.
My favorite guest, I mean, it was a lot of them, but this was had a personal connection to me, was Matt Anderson and my brain just went, Cheryl.
Yeah.
So it was actually two when Matt and Cheryl came on, those two, because it was a personal connection. So but also they shared a lot of wisdom, shared a lot for the community. But yeah, that was a back in the day connection that was great for me.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Guys, we don't really have an agenda this week. We're just talking about the best interviews that you've heard here, whether that was a Teach Me Tuesday or We All Need Some Help Wednesday. Maybe it was a subject that we talked about. I really would like to hear from some people, y'all, and just talk a little bit about like what was the things this season that you heard that really turned a light bulb on for you, maybe in your business, your private life. Maybe it all of a sudden it just clicked and it made sense. And I'd love to know if you went and you ran the play and it actually helped you. So I definitely want to see that. Put it in the chat. For those of you guys who are just pulling up, make sure y'all drop in the chat. Where are you tuning in from? We don't really have an agenda this week. It's the season finale. We are all exhausted, y'all. This has been a run. I was talking to Rocky earlier, if you just jump in the room, and I'm like, I did not anticipate the grind of having to wake up and curate a show daily for 2.5 years. And I don't know if you've ever done anything like that, but it's not easy. It's fun as all get out. And I think that's, to be really honest, for me, is what makes it almost not like work. But the cumulative thing, Christine, after a while, it just wears on you. So yeah. Anybody? Come on, Christine.
Yeah, one of my other favorites, and I want to say this and then I'll say something else, was Rocky. When Rocky got on and started teaching, and she has been down this amazing path of really articulating how to do a thing. It's one thing to say, this is what you should do, but she actually shows us how to do a thing. And she's my IT manager too. But outside of that, just the time that she takes, even though she's a flamingo and has other things going on, she takes the time to show us how to do something. And I know it's benefited so many of those in the audience as well. So I just wanted to give her a quick shout out as well. But I was watching Shark Tank last night, Coach, and I was listening to them. And I don't normally watch TV. It was just something to do, right? Because I call it mindless activity. So I was watching Shark Tank last night, and they were listening to this guy who was talking about how his business exploded and he wasn't expecting it to. And I think about us in the morning show and how this thing has just exploded. And this guy wasn't expecting it to, but so he had to hurry up and get his back house in order. And I can say with certainty that we didn't have to get our back house in order because it was already in order. And so I'm just excited that I'm a part of a team that, yes, you ran the play, Coach, and we stood right there beside you on the field running the play with you. But not only that, we've have consistency in those that show up for the morning show, first just on Clubhouse and then on other amazing platforms. But our back of the house is clean. It is good. There is no loose ends. There's no dead links, if you will, and showing people where to go and how to get there. So kudos to all of us. So I yield there.
Help me.
Listen, I Rocky.
Wait.
Come on,
I'm
come on.
excited.
Yep, come on, Rock. Come on. I see you.
I just get excited because they see Clubhouse, we see family. So whenever there's an event, like we're gonna go support Christine on the 24th, I'm excited to go to see everybody again. So when we have all of these events outside of Clubhouse, it makes it even better. Even if it's us just meeting up for sushi or me just driving to Maryland to hang out with Christine, it's like all of it happens in the back end as well, which is a part of the community. And I don't have that with any other community. Matter of fact, I think this is my only community besides my own. But yeah, I think it's great.
You know, that's funny because before Clubhouse even came along, you know, Glenn P. Brooks Jr. LLC, all of you guys know, is a personal and a professional development company. But in real life, before the pandemic, we would do meetups all the time. Cherie, remember in 2018, a year after we started our MAPS Relationship Academy, we had the audacity to plan a cruise simply because a lot of people in our community, had never been. We also were coaching people who hadn't been on vacation. And one couple had been married at that point 17 years, and they had not been on a vacation since their honeymoon. Unreal. 4 kids, all little black girls. They were homeschooling them, and they made a conscious decision. He did. She's got an MBA. Like, these are really smart people. But she decided to come home at the beginning of them raising children so that she could be there for the children, started homeschooling when black people just didn't do that, right? And he would work 3-4 jobs in order to keep, you know, obviously everything going. But they looked up, and the oldest was about to graduate high school, and they had not been on a vacation. And so we was like, bump that. Y'all jokers is in trouble, not because you don't like each other, but because you need a freaking break. So we created what we call the My Family Rocks Cruise. 2018, Cherie and I had cruised twice before that for the first time within like that previous year. We were hooked. We were like, yo, we got to do this for the whole community. And then it dawned on me, when you plan groups like that, it'll pay for your trip. I'm like, oh, snap. This is a good look. But it was crazy to me, Rocky. That family-oriented stuff comes out of our heart. It's who Cherie and I it's not only who we are, but it's also who we attract. And so I don't even think it's an accident that we attract people like that. So no, I love that. I love that. Anybody else? Come on, let's talk a little bit about some of the highs and highlights of season 2 this past year. Anybody else on stage want to chime in on that? Come on, let's talk. Anybody in the audience? Let me go to the chat. Anything going on in the chat? All right. Y'all ain't got nothing to say. This is the season finale. Now, you know you can't threaten me with a good time. I can find something to talk about now. I'm trying not to monopolize the conversation, y'all.
That might be our cliffhanger, since there were no favorite moments. Maybe we'll completely revamp the show for next season.
Ooh, should we do that? Is the show working for you? Should we revamp some things?
Maybe it wasn't working.
Maybe it wasn't working. That's a question. Oh,
it was working. It's my day.
How about that part? Folks are still
in my turtleneck.
I do. Yeah. I have a favorite moment. One of my favorite moments, it wasn't a guest. It was a Friday when we ended up having a whole praise and worship show. It was absolutely amazing from the beginning to the end. And that started changing what Fridays were. So that was one of my favorite shows.
Speaking of Fridays, John, I remember when we asked you to step in and host. Somebody try and get Tarkessa in here. I don't know where she's at, but let's send her a link. Let's text it to her if y'all got her number. A lot of people have gone on and have been a part of our show who've gone on to do some other things, and it's okay, right? One of the things that I wanted to do, John, was curate an experience that if people came through for a season to show up and show out, that it was okay for it to be a season. I think too many times, particularly as leaders, and it's one of the reasons why I can't wait for Bootstrap and Redefine in October. By the way, if you have not gotten your Summer Blowout VIP or Summer Blowout sale tickets, do that. Click the link at the top of the room and you can get that. But John, too many leaders find themselves controlling a narrative and making it last forever. That's a song. It shouldn't be real life. I'm gonna let that breathe for a second. Make it last forever. That's a song. That should not necessarily be how you characterize your life. Can I tell you, children aren't meant to be children forever? As parents, a lot of times we'll say things like, I'm not ready. Bro, you better get ready, because they ready. They about to break up out of there, and it's going to be a painful process. Nothing is really supposed to last forever, not at least on this side of the planet. In eternity, yes. So I wanted to be the kind of leader that made it cool, comfortable, exciting for you to come in, add value, and then roll out. And so when Tarkessa rolled out, John stepped in, and look at this. Look at God.
Help me.
You get what I'm saying? Like, the next man steps up, next woman steps up. And I love this community for that. I love this, John.
So, Coach, let's stay where they were transitioning. And we are adults and mature. I mean, I miss those moments of "Hold, please" in the church announcements. So that was a great run. That was a great run when we were doing church announcements, and a lot of people really loved that segment. So that was a good run. So yeah,
absolutely.
Transition and change was awesome.
Listen, and I think that a lot of times, and that's one of the reasons why I'm okay with us taking a hiatus, because my goal is to really figure out what's next. So we can kind of cultivate that. Like, what should we be doing next? What should we be thinking about next if we're going to continue this thing going? Dr. Pam said the day that Quest Green came through was a good day. Enjoyed the show with Pastor Jamal, as already mentioned. Love the show every day. She's like, don't y'all be messing with me now. How many of y'all, be honest, you set your clocks to this show on this show is such a part of your routine daily that your clocks, and I don't mean literally necessarily, but like it's a part of your morning routine. You're thrown off if you don't really kind of pull up or tap in. Put me in the chat if that's you. Put me in the chat.
Coach, you funny. You know what? While we honoring guests and stuff, you know, there are people I look in the lounge, our listeners and family, that if I don't see them, I wonder where they are. Like Doc and Jill. Everybody that's here, like right now, like YB was like, yo, bro, you know I do work. But it's like, it's so habit that even though I know he works, I still send it to him because, like, yo, I miss YB. I miss Dominique when I don't see it, or definitely Valencia. Like, everybody that's in the room, like, literally right now, I scroll every day. If I don't see Mr. Fun Name some point throughout, I know he got to leave or he going to get in late, but it's that jump through. So as we honor the guests, I like to honor some of just my favorite people that be in the room. I'm used to seeing Dr. Pam show up and all that. You know, my sister then came up in this joint. You know, it's a lot of people up in there.
Ain't never left. Hey, where's Miss Vicky Ann? Is she in the room? Y'all wake her up. Somebody go wake her up and tell her. Okay. Listen, go wake her up, John. Y'all, that's the truest thing I've ever heard, because some of y'all be cutting up like when Kurt, the connector who came in like within the last year, Kurt comes to the chat and just blows the chat up and leave. Like, but it works, man. It's like, where's Kurt at today? I don't care. I know you got jobs. I know you got families. I know you got things. I don't care. I don't care. Stop through and say what up. This past weekend, Phil Atkins, Maria's husband, got introduced to Sadie Mae in real life, y'all. And our son has taught her how to head nod. And she's 16 months old. She can't hardly form her words right. You know, she's trying to figure out that no is not for everything, right? You want to eat? She's hungry. No, but she's grabbing for food. Like, it's a contradiction of terms here, right? But she's got the head nod down pat. You hear me? So Justin will catch eyes with her across the room, and she'll be looking at him like, you gonna do it, ain't you? You gonna do it? And he popped the head nod. And she be like, yeah, what up? And so Phil was like, did she just respond to his head? So then, you know, because she's a straight character, like we're not going to talk about that, but she's a straight character. I'm not sure where she gets that from, but she's a straight character.
I wonder where.
We're not talking about that. So at that point, she got everybody else hooked on. So Phil walking around. So I'm telling you, John, it's like coming through and giving me the head. Now I'ma just need to know you was here. Speaking of which, Chris Giles just pulled up. So I'm not going to act like Chris ain't in the room. What up, bro? Chris. Where in the world are you today? Oh, Lord.
Hey.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Rocky gave him the sound effect. You know, you feeling real love this morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How y'all doing?
Good, man. You home? You on the road? What you got happening?
I am home. We are celebrating baby girl today. She will be graduating this afternoon. So we got all the fam in town, you know.
I love it, Chris. The graduation season is here. So was she graduating from high school or?
Yeah, it's high school. Okay. So this will be the second one out from high school, and you know.
And you back on the road tomorrow?
I think Wednesday.
Oh, okay. I ain't pushing you. Look, he said I ain't a killer, but don't push me. You know what I mean? No, I was just, you know, it's not often we get a chance to kind of just hang out. I'm always thinking that, nah, man, I'm glad. Chris, biggest moment in the last season for you, while we're on this subject. Like, does it do it for you to see certain people pull up in the room and it just like, yeah, it warms your soul? Or maybe certain people come through and talk. Come on, share with us, bro.
Man, like, let me be honest. The thing, and this might be half selfish, but part of it really is honestly when you decided to actually launch the podcast. That to me is the biggest moment, because to watch it grow, like every week when I'm in there looking at the number of how many episodes deep we are. I mean, dude, we 76 episodes launched, and it was like, hold on, that means that's more than a year ago, right? But 52, look, I don't even know the math, but that's like a year and a half ago. So to me, that's the amazing part, because I'm a content junkie. So it's the fact that you jumped out there and did that thing, man. And like you said, I can't even pick one. The fact that the whole gamut of people that are willing to come through at 7 o'clock in the morning to be on a podcast,
That
right?
part.
It's amazing,
Do you know, and I don't know where Barbara is, but we need to wake her up. I know I know Barbara's got a new gig and some things are going, and they are pressing her. We had a chance to catch up a couple of weeks ago, and Barbara is going through the press, y'all. But I don't care. I need a head nod. I'm just saying, being a little selfish here. But Chris, listen, I think we have had one person in all of the We All Need Some Help Wednesday, the podcast interviews, that said, I'm not doing 7 o'clock in the morning. I will do your podcast. I'd be more than happy to be a guest, but I cannot do that 7 o'clock in the morning thing. I think out of all the people we've ever interviewed, one person said that. A friend of mine, I went through a business community with her. She's an ex-WNBA ball player, incredibly talented author. I'm going to get her on the podcast at some point, but she lives in Portland. And she's like, yo, OG, she calls me OG, I love you, but I'm not getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning messing with you. I'm not. 7 for you is 4 for me. Not doing it. I've only had one per that Lisa Willis. Look, listen. I'm gonna record this part. Lisa, we calling you out. The
I understand.
UCLA grad. I think they won a national championship when she was at UCLA, something crazy like that. She played for the New York Liberty. Baller. You hear me? She would make most dudes feel like she's breaking ankles. She's dropping threes from raining. I'm calling you out, Lisa Willis. You got to come through. You feel me? Next season, we're gonna have you.
Clip that.
Clip that. Bruh, it's a whole thing. I'm going to do it. Come on, John.
Yeah, I just went and invited Vic. Remember Vic used to turn up on Fridays with us, man. Oh my God.
Jesus.
So I'm hoping he pops in. One of my favorite, Consuela, when we were doing healthcare moments.
Yeah, man.
And
it's just something.
I'm just clicking them in there.
Hey, look, ain't no love lost. Folk go on, we go on, things happen. But it's all about, working together in concert. Come on, Sheree.
Yeah, I just was going to say, I understand that 7 o'clock in the morning, because I came on the show last season, was really my first time being here consistently, and y'all have been doing it for a year. I used to be laying in the bed. I'm like, what the heck are they doing? How do they get up this early? Why is he so loud? What are they doing? But once I started coming in, I got hooked. It's like there's an energy, there's a synergy here in this room that, motivates me to get up in the morning. And I am not a morning person at all. I could stay in the bed till 9 o'clock. Now I'll be awake, but I ain't getting up.
Mm-hmm.
But there's an energy, there's a synergy that I get being here in this room every morning that motivates me to get up. And just being able to just see the people in the room, like you said, looking for familiar faces every day in the audience. It's just, it's community. It's community.
That's hilarious, Sheree. So Barbara is here. And by the way, I done texted a direct link to all our old head mods. And I done sent the whole thing. Look, it's our season finale. If you got a second, I know y'all busy, as we all are, but I'm going to need the head nod. Barbara, we were talking about you real bad. I mean, good. And I'm just saying, I told them that you was being pressed like a grape because they trying to make some wine over there, and you going through the gauntlet. But lady, it's our season finale, Barbara. You can dip and go do your thing. I get it. But Barbara, you got to come through. Give us a head nod. Let us know favorite interaction. Barbara, I was telling them that we probably had only one person in all of the scheduling, because whether Barbara's here or not, but guys, please understand this. She still produces all things, the podcast, and works with Chris and the team at KBCN and make sure we have our things. She's just got a lot of other things going on. But Barbara, I think we had one person that flat out told us, can't do that 7 o'clock in the morning thing. That actually said that out there. Would love to do it. That Lisa Willis, I clipped it up and I'm calling her out. I'm going to get her on next season. I promise you. Grand Rising, Barbara, good to have you this morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I missed you guys.
Hey.
Oh my gosh.
I missed you
Season
too.
finale. Wow. We've had one person that said, 7 o'clock. No, I can't do that. But yeah, we're going to have to get her and do a pre-record or something just to have her on the show.
You get what I'm saying? No, it's so good to have you, girl.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much. It has been so busy, so much going on right now. But I appreciate you guys so much. And this has been an amazing season. Even with some of the faux pas that happened that, we were able to work out behind the scenes and get everybody on. And
Barbara, you got it. You don't have to throw them under the bus by name, but you got to give people sort of a out loud look at some of the crazy you go through behind the scenes. Talk to us a little bit about maybe, and listen, I don't care if you mention Broderick Rice's name or not, but I'm just saying there are some people that just made your life a little stressful.
Coach, I really think Broderick takes the prize on that one.
Listen.
Even James was like, you have the help because I can't. Broderick was a whole piece of work because he doesn't use technology. So and he uses 2 phones, and it was almost a nightmare. But he is hilarious. And he still calls me and says, look, thank you so much for making me look good. So we've established a great friendship from that time. So
what's funny, Barbara, what's funny is he was like that in real life. For those that don't know, Broderick Rice is a comedian, a Christian comedian. One of the, I would consider him a pioneer, definitely an OG when it comes to that genre of comedy. And back in the day, I hired him to be a fixture on our morning show in DC when I ran the #1 gospel station in the city. And somebody was telling me that this guy, Broderick Rice, was super funny. He comes to DC all the time. He's got a great following. And when I looked up at the numbers, he had more CD sales in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area than anywhere else in the country. He's from Southern California. And I was like, I think that might be a little indication that this may work here. And we brought him over, the highest paid contract of any gospel on-air personality at the time. This is late 90s. And we put together a 6-figure contract for this guy. Nobody was getting paid that kind of money back then to be a talent on a radio show, particularly a gospel station. We put it together and he made our life challenging. I promise you, the brother was a piece of work and he knows it. That's the thing. That's why he keeps apologizing. I'm so sorry. I apologize. May the Lord bless you real good. I just charge it to my head, not to, like, he would give you the whole thing. I'm like, Broderick, you gonna learn this thing today, brother. So no, I'm sorry we put that thing on you like that, Barbara. But y'all, man, and then he becomes your greatest friend on the back of all that drama because he's sweet. He just don't know what he's doing.
He is hilarious. I mean, even without the comedy, he's hilarious. But yeah, I think he was our greatest challenge for the season. But that, everything else was pretty easy. It's just that some of the people didn't read the emails. So
that part.
Reading is fundamental.
Can we go?
Absolutely.
Business owners, let me ask y'all a question. This is where all of us can chime in. You work really hard to put together a string of communication, call it like that. It is in Jen's world, it would be an email sequence. Okay. And each thing is designed to do a certain thing, and it's dependent upon the person reading it in order for it to work. let me ask a question. Is it just us, or have y'all found that people don't read their emails? Put me in the chat. Put me in the chat. I don't know what that is.
Do you read all your emails, Coach?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
Hey, look, I thought he was going to say that. Like, Coach.
I'm not going to come here with all that, man.
God,
It's
why
hard.
Coach?
Listen, God don't like ugly.
I'm gonna be honest. It's hard because you are subscribed to so many different things, and you can miss it. But what I will say is, if it's something important, like I got invited to something or it's an event, then I will flag that person or tag that person. That way, it comes up first. Like I oftentimes add them to VIP so that I can see the messages. But don't talk about me because I always miss every message I'll put out for
But
Bootstrap.
see what the problem is when you sign up for something.
Here we go.
Or you solicit information from me, then I send it to you, and then you still don't read it. So you've signed up for the program. You've paid money.
Say that's
I send you instructions
that you asked.
You don't read it.
That you pay.
And then you're texting me, hey, how do I do this? You got 15 emails to give you step by step.
Oh, it is.
People don't read. Right. So I agreed. Like I get inundated with emails, and if I did not ask for it, I don't read it. But if it's something that I asked for, that I signed up for, if it's something I signed up for or I registered for, yes, I do.
All right, now here's a test, Coach. I want everybody. Look at your home screen where your mail is. How many unread messages do you have? That's the number that I want. I'm going to be honest. I'll go first and tell myself. I have 48,465 unread messages.
Okay.
That's ridiculous. I got 28,000.
Okay.
What?
Well,
I got a question.
You got what? Did he say?
No, just answer the question, y'all. Just answer the question.
I have none right now.
Which inbox? Which inbox?
And see that
doesn't matter.
Inbox,
exactly.
The inbox I use to sign up for people's stuff.
No, I have 5 emails attached to my phone, so I miss a lot.
Yes, me too.
But they won't answer the question. They won't answer the question, John. They won't
I answered. I said 0. I have none, and I'll show you.
Because you just cleared them.
Okay. No. Okay, so here's what I'm getting ready to do so that I can show y'all. I just went to my thing to look to see what it was, and I'm getting ready PTR. Look at Sheree. I'm getting ready PTR, and this is what it says. I only have 2 now. On my defense, I have 2 accounts that I manage or that I get to see. They don't let me see anything else. But if you PTR right now, you'll see that I have 3 missed on my Glenn P. Brooks Jr. and 4 on the CR coach. So yeah, and they came in this morning. I have a bad habit of clearing and checking my emails at least twice a day. It's a really bad habit. And it's so bad, y'all, that I get anxious when I have numbers over a certain amount. And it came from this pain point right here, Rock. I missed a speaking engagement one time and missed out on, I want to say it was like $3,000, something crazy like that, because I didn't check my emails. That thing traumatized the hell out of me. And so for that reason, it shifted something in me that says that will never happen again. And so I'm sorry. Yeah.
I PTR'd mine and how many emails I have.
Gosh, I'm going to need a therapist.
I have 86 emails that I have not read, and that's because they emailed overnight. So
yeah,
just 86. And I promise to be clear by noon today.
True confession. Mine don't show on my front screen.
Oh, snap.
I took it off because Glenn would always look at my phone and see how many. But I looked in my email. I actually have 57 unread.
Okay, now we here. Now we here.
Okay, and my number is 1,468.
Oh, Jesus.
That's just one inbox. The inbox I don't check is 56,000.
Good God Almighty.
Now, can we be real and say it happens? Like, just be real. It happens, you guys.
Yeah, it does.
So that's a lot.
Well, out of the 28,000, I always got 10 that say, open me now. So I open those. But other than that,
John just gave y'all a clue as to the subject line you need to get with him. Open me now.
Look, John don't miss his text messages. John be moving.
Bro.
So it's not that, and yes, people don't read, but people also are busy and they don't see things. No, I'm saying it's not that you're into, like if I text John, I know it's not personal that he didn't see it. He's busy and he has a lot of things. So we also have to think about that when we're marketing and we're doing things. That's why sometimes you have to send a text and an email to people who did buy your stuff, because they don't read.
Yeah.
They don't check it, or it may go to spam, but you see, we don't check our email, and it depends on which email they give you. It's a whole situation that I will not
I got freebie emails. Like I have 2 emails just for my freebies and my courses.
Oh my gosh.
And that's the problem.
Right.
That's why I asked you which inbox.
Right. You got to clarify that thing. Hey, Rock, Dominique said he got 6,300 in one account. Jesus.
And you know what the thing is too, Coach? I don't put my notifications on for my emails. So if I did that, my phone will be going crazy right now. So
Hey, Rock, I think that's what you didn't help me. That's why they accumulate. I think for me, I could not. Oh my God, it would sound like a dog on Jamaican steel drum if I kept that on. But I do have certain boxes. I do have my boxes prioritized. So the ones that I got to read, that's my first box. Now I'm looking at that's 800. So the other ones go down in priority. Those are ones that have accumulated the most. So there is still a system in there.
So John, which one am I in?
Oh snap!
You are in box 2. So every now and then I do miss that one.
Here we go.
But
listen,
wait. But your text has been pinned up in my top 9. So that's why your text get responded back quicker than the email.
Okay.
Y'all hear the
Christina answer her.
So I have 6 emails on my phone. That includes my father's emails, my homeschool emails, my junk emails, my studio emails, my mompreneur emails. But I only have 86 unread emails. And it's because I have certain times of the day throughout the week that I check my emails and I actually respond.
Yeah.
So the old saying was, if you want to hide something from somebody, put it in a book. Now it's, if you want to hide something, put it in an email.
Ooh, that's so true.
It will not get read. Ask me how.
That is so true. Yo, Christine, here's what's funny. I see you, Chris. Why your boy, Mr. Fun over there talking about 89,000 easy? I'm mad that he didn't carry it over to just, bro, you could have just rounded up to 100K. Like, talk about easy. Come on, Chris, what you got, buddy?
See, I think I'm with Christine and Coach. Like, I got across 7 accounts on my phone. I got 35, and that's like, I've read all of them.
Yeah.
They're literally just unread because I want to go back to them. Like,
you know what's funny, Chris? I'm with Christine again. It took me losing money out my pocket at a season in my life where that was rent. That was like spoken for something. And I almost, listen, that thing kind of put me, when I say a trigger, I can honestly say, and maybe it's in a good way, that thing traumatized the hell out of me. I couldn't breathe for a second. I'm like, I missed an opportunity to go speak, that a contract was signed, sent to me, and I missed it. They said yes. I was working my tail off trying to get on people's stages, and they said yes. And I missed the whole thing. Relationship, the contract, the money, all of that. And I'm sitting there, y'all, I was 2 seconds from crying. It was bad. So for me, Chris, I look at my emails minimum twice a day. I only manage 2 accounts in my defense. Some of y'all manage much more than that. But and then here's the other thing, John, I have no notifications on my phone. 0. I don't have Clubhouse notifications on. I don't have Instagram notifications on. I don't have Facebook notifications on. If I were to PTR my screenshot right now, the only notifications, I take that back, are my texts that will come right through for just texting, and then also for my WhatsApp, because of the business we're doing internationally, and that's the only way they communicate. Other than that, nothing rings, nothing. Right, Chris? You stupid? Chris? What you burning down, Chris?
That's all the money that's getting burnt up in people's inboxes. That's all,
brother. That thing messed me up, Rocky.
No, I can take that hit. I didn't had many speaking engagement offers.
No way.
Rocky. Yes, coach. Yes.
Girl, that hurts my soul.
And I was really into locally networking and stuff like that. And people have asked me. And at first I was like, no, I'm not speaking for free. But then I was like, okay, yeah, I need to get the exposure. And there was one, and I had that same experience, coach. There was one where I was supposed to go on at a certain time and she changed the time. And so I was like, okay, I'll be there. I showed up at the wrong time, which means I missed my slot when she changed the time because I didn't see the update. But I think that should have been a phone call.
Right.
My personal.
I get it.
Personal opinion.
I get it. But girl, listen, y'all, I think, Rocky, for me, it was in a time where I was building something I said I wanted. And it was attached to something I needed. So imagine me trying to figure out how I'm going to pay my car payment or how I'm going to pay my rent when I just absolutely looked at a contract go down the toilet that was signed, waiting for me just to freaking show up. That has never happened again. That thing messed me all the way up, y'all. And then the other part, Dominic, now my integrity on the other end, that's the other thing that messes me up. So I don't know about y'all, and maybe this is the way my character is shaped to some degree. There's a thing that I have about doing what I say I'm going to do. And it's probably unhealthy on some levels. I have an unhealthy relationship with showing up and keeping my word because I said so. Now, I know that sounds weird, but when I say that, even in the light of when things actually happen, and Cherie will tell you, it's okay to reschedule an appointment. My mindset says, no, it's not. I scheduled it. I do it. I don't care what happens. She's like, that ain't the real world. It is mine. And I started holding other people to that level or that standard. So now I'm done with you if you blow me off. I'm done. We're not doing life together at all. Listen, my own wife would catch grief. I mean, grief, y'all. If it's like, bro, you put it on the calendar. Y'all hear me getting passionate about it?
TM.
Oh my God.
Coach, TM had a don't judge me, you guys.
We ain't judge. Listen, I'm past these things now, y'all. I'm just saying that used to rock my world. Come on.
I'm a changed woman, but TM had a room about being petty in business. And I'm like, I'm 1000% petty because if you schedule a consult with me and you don't show up, I'll ask you to reschedule and I'm not showing up. And yeah, it teaches you a lesson.
Wow.
So I went as far as that. And everyone was like, well, you're taking it away from it's taken away from you. No, it's not. I'm not. You're going to learn how it feels because for me, the way I saw it, and again, I'm not like this anymore, but the way I saw it was I took time away from my family, away from what I was doing to sit down at this desk, prep my station so that we can have a consult. And you don't show up. You don't even call me, So while your feelings was hurt, my feelings was hurt too.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Petty Betty lives.
Rocky, I was not ready for that. I was not.
I've never heard of that.
That was the old Rocky, you guys.
Listen, Christine probably was like, we need to have another.
Her back on my
I'm glad you said it was the old Rocky. She
Let me
said it
enroll
was
in
the old Rocky.
cohort 7.
It was before Mompreneur. She is not
Thank
that
you.
Rocky anymore.
Oh my goodness.
It was like 3 weeks ago. But yeah.
That was in the middle of the cohort.
She got delivered.
She got delivered.
I am delivered.
On the last day.
Right. Wow. Hey, Jill put in the
That's
chat.
delivered
Thank
with a
you,
T.
Jill.
Delivered with the
With
T.
T.
Right.
Jill put in the chat, today is Women's Veterans Day. So let's support and promote our women's veteran, Rocky, Cherie, Yolanda, and anyone else who is a veteran. I support you. I appreciate you because I couldn't do it. I remember when a recruiter called me to go to the Air Force and I was like, absolutely not. I'm a cry. I'm not doing that. So
It's the
I
finger for me,
support
Sheree.
you.
It's the
I
finger
support you
and the
guys.
look
Thank
away.
you.
Why
Yes.
she say I'm a cry though?
Look,
I'm a
Sheree.
cry.
Sheree, if
I
y'all,
didn't want to leave my mama.
if y'all was tuned into KBC and TV, Jen had the finger and the look away. This and then this and then you'd be like, "Who you looking at, Jen?" I can't do it. I just can't even look.
I can't. That's the I can't. You got to do the
I
hand,
can't.
and you got I can't.
Well, I salute my fellow women veterans because it
Salute
definitely
to you
takes a
guys.
special breed
For
to be
sure.
a woman veteran. Not all women are designed for that. And yeah, it definitely I salute my sister veterans because we are a unique breed. I'll just say that.
No, you got
I
that right.
PTR'd Army Rocky without the
Listen.
gray eyes.
I love it. Look at Army Rocky with the regular hair color and the not gray eyes. I love it.
It was a bob weave. Funny story. I had a different weave for everything we were doing for ruck marches, drown
Got to
proofing,
me.
office
Got to be
weave.
kidding me. Gotta be kidding me, Rocky.
Were you doing the glue and weaves back then, Rocky?
No, this was straight comb, Sheree. Just a comb, and because it was secure, because we always had to wear our lid. So
Listen, that's the other thing that I'm like, how did you keep that cup, like your cover secured? So you had a whole contraption worked out.
She was on a whole nother
was
level.
clippings.
Now you was a dog in the service and fabulous. You go,
Yeah,
girl.
Right.
there. That straight up look like Barbie.
Right.
Barbie Army right there.
oh,
gonna
they
be
make me
kidding.
mad now, Sheree. They can wear their hair down and wear makeup and nails now in the military.
Yeah, I know. They don't have to have it up all the time.
When I came through, you couldn't wear tattoos. You could not get in the Army with a tattoo.
You couldn't get
Period.
in with them.
You couldn't get
had to
in
have them
the
somewhere that they didn't show if you got them.
Yeah.
You were in.
See, that's the thing though. If they ain't let that happen, they wouldn't have no troops now.
No, they wouldn't. No, you 100% right about that.
They'd be short.
They'd be short.
My friend had her
Maybe sure.
ears. You know what gauging is when they have a big old circle in their
Yeah,
ear. My
yeah.
friend, when the war happened, they allowed everybody to come in. However, then they put her out of the military because her ear was gauged and she wouldn't sew them back up. So they let her in on a waiver. When the war was kind of calmed down, they kicked her out again for the same thing.
So the condition was you can come in, but you got to sew it up in essence.
No, she came in. She had it for a good 4 or 5 years, but then later they said the waiver is no longer valid because the war calmed down. They don't need that many troops. This is when they were downsizing, Coach, and they
Got
looked
it.
for
Got
stuff.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
So when
you're
that
a veteran-
happened, do they still get their benefits?
No.
Oh,
Well,
that's
I mean,
wrong.
Well, it
get
depends.
No,
generally,
she was.
because she was.
It was honorable. She still got out.
Oh,
honorable.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, if you're a woman, veteran, put me in the chat. We salute you. We absolutely salute you guys. Y'all, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, y'all paved a lot of ways for a lot of change. And I'm telling you, I'm grateful for it.
Keep on.
This is why we can do things like he on the side of the road when we leave.
Listen, you so silly. Listen, I was not ready for that.
You want to hear that story
Rocky.
again? That was one of my
Rocky.
favorite moments in this room.
No, Rocky.
That
we
was a
don't-
favorite moment.
That
though.
was a favorite moment. But I'm like,
They're
I
saying
was
no, Rocky. They're
there's
saying
two moments that
Rocky had
traumatized me in this.
Rocky had to
And
pin
that's
up that,
one of them.
pin up that one. Hey, Cherie, Rocky had to pin up that onesie and try to run to the
Oh,
bathroom.
snap. They're going to make me hear this,
Oh
Jen.
my God.
Jen, I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to
I had
excuse myself and go get some more
a
coffee, Jen.
military thing real quick to share. So real quick, while we were on the women veterans, I just found out, I think recently, the Marine Corps actually has completely transitioned to co-ed boot camps. For years, they had the men and women separate. I think they were the last branch to go to co-ed, and they're actually closing Parris Island for the women part of Parris Island, the women only part of training at Parris Island, which is where I went to boot camp.
That's huge. I feel you, Sheree. No, that's a big deal. It kind of makes me scared for them too, but no, that's a big deal.
How would that work? Because Rocky, weren't you sneaking to meet people?
Okay, Army. Sheree was the Marine. Army, Marine.
Okay,
Completely
I'm
different.
a civilian. You got to
Yeah,
break
Marines,
it
we
down
were on a
'cause I
separate
don't know
basis.
the difference.
Yeah, the women on the Marines, we were on a completely separate installation. We weren't even on the same place where the men did their training.
Yeah, we were in the
And
same
then
barracks.
Then they had different battalions, but they were in separate barracks. But now they're co-ed, and so they're together.
And so in the Army, they're in the same. Rocky, you
We
said
were in
you
the
guys were in
same.
the same.
Yeah, women were on the first floor, men was on the second, women on the third, men was on the fourth, like that. Not Jen bringing up my
And-
past. I'm on mute.
You, hey, you told us.
I'm kidding.
I guess that was a look. I guess that was a memorable moment for me.
I commend Cherie because Marines is hard. Like, I don't even know how. Like,
I
no.
was the rebellious child, so it wasn't hard for me. So I
That part.
had ran track. I ran track in high
Her
school.
mom
So the
was
physical,
already geared up for to rebel.
right. So I ran track in high school. So physically, I already had the physical part down because I ran track. So the physical part wasn't a problem for me. And as far as the like boot camp, them yelling at you, it's like, okay, you just yelling. What you gonna do? It didn't hurt, but it was amazing to me in boot camp. Like we were talking about, you know, I think Jen was saying she was saying I couldn't go in the military because I would cry. I remember there were women that went through that literally cried like every day. And it's like, what are you crying for? Like they're just yelling at you. He's like, oh, but nobody's. I was like, you ain't grow up in no black family, obviously, because you ain't never had nobody yell at you. It's like they just yelling. It's like just tune them out. Don't take it personal. But I mean, I understand people that aren't. You know, you got to be built for that. It's not for everybody. And because I had a rebellious nature, I mean, it's like it didn't faze me. It wasn't until after I got out of boot camp that I started having my challenges. But that was also because of my rebellious nature and my not wanting to completely conform. And I don't. Yeah, that was a whole thing. I wasn't into submission back then. So it was a little challenging.
Yeah, see, I gotta remember I was spoiled. So you trying to take me out of my spoiled cushy lifestyle.
Yeah, you would have had trouble the
yelled
first
at.
day getting off
Yes.
the bus at night in the rain. You would have been.
Oh no, yeah. See,
I think Coach wants to talk. I think we rabbit holed
where
it, you
did he
guys.
go?
No, he
Is he
wasn't
there?
here. He's not even
He's
here.
off.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can't see it. I'm just going to Clubhouse. Okay, continue. Normally Christine would chime in. I was waiting.
I'm not a military person. My brother went into the Marines, and so we definitely supported him. He was at Parris Island, Cherie, and so I was 16 or 17, and I was upset. Let me tell you why. Because when he graduated, it was my birthday weekend or before my birthday, and I was upset because I was supposed to have a sweet 16, but I didn't because Cherie, he graduated, and I was happy but mad. I was like, dude, y'all can't do this another time. Like,
right? Can't y'all reschedule the graduation?
Right, reschedule
Like,
the
it's my
graduation
birthday.
because
What-
it's my birthday. But I redeemed myself, and he still pays for it today. So
Yes,
I think that's the hardest part about the military, especially marriage and stuff, is because people don't realize you have to go. Like, you can't tell the military no. Like, when they say go, it's a wrap. It doesn't matter. I've missed so many birthdays, holidays, all kinds of stuff, and it just sucks.
Now I'll tell y'all a fun fact. I may not have went for the military, but I did do a whole training to be a police dispatcher, and it was serious. Like I had to do the training that the police officers had to do. I don't even understand why I had to. I guess now I do. And then I didn't even take the job. Just spoiled because my dad's best friend was the mayor. And so they were like, okay, just go through the training and then, we'll go ahead and give you the job. And then my little spoiled butt didn't even take the dispatch job. But I went through the training and I had good record and everything. I was tired though.
Listen.
So I wanted to go to a comment in the chat. T Squared mentioned that, and I remember these stories. She said, "What about the girls who either slit their wrists or took a bottle of Tylenol?" I didn't know anybody that actually slit their wrists in boot camp, but some of them they really couldn't take it. We had one girl jump out the second story window, talking about she was going to kill herself. She did nothing but fracture her ankle, but because she couldn't take it. And she was talking about like the people that they would take a bottle of Tylenol, talking about they're going to kill themselves, and they'd wind up in the holding barracks and they would have to recycle through again. So what happens if you get injured in boot camp? Technically, unless there's a certain point they give you, you can say you want to leave. You want out. But the thing you have to remember, when you sign up to go in the military, you're government property at that point in time. So they get to decide whether you stay or go. And so what would happen is they would do something to harm themselves, prayerfully not permanently harm themselves, but they would harm themselves. And what they would do, you'd go to the infirmary, you'd stay in there, and then you would have to start all over again. The 9, 12, 8 weeks, whatever it is, you'd have to go through it all over again. Because in most cases, they're not sending you home. They're going to get you better, make sure you're good. And they'll be like, okay, now we're going to start over again. And so they would go through it again. And it's like, just suck it up and go through it the first time and get it over with. Because it ends. There's an end date.
I got dark quick.
Yeah, no, I wanted to be really careful with that because, as much, it could be. And as much as, a lot of, and when you've gone through, for anybody who served, you understood in a lot of ways sort of the differences between, there were people who plotted on how they were going to get out. And you would hear that. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this because I want out and I just can't quit. But then you would have those really, really horrible scenarios where mentally people just simply cracked. It's 8:15, 15 minutes after 8 o'clock. I tapped Yolanda Tate. She's probably our most decorated veteran in the building. She is a retired command sergeant major. And I promise you right now, very, very, very few women and even less Black women achieve that level of prominence and notoriety. It's a tremendous feat. And in her case, she actually, was when you're a command sergeant major, you have a command, thus the name. You can be a sergeant major and an E9 and not have a command. And so for her, she actually ran entire military installations and the admins and the different things and all the intricacies in the background. So she was a drill sergeant too. So that's another reason why I was like, if I could get her on the stage, listen, absolutely the most. And so I just
that's the ultimate leadership. You go, girl.
Yeah, no.
The female drill sergeants were worse than the male drill sergeants.
I think so. And now listen, I went to Fort Dix, New Jersey, for my basic. I went to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri for my basic training, but I went to Fort Dix, New Jersey for my first duty station. And Fort Dix is also a training facility, or at least it was back then. So as a person at a permanent duty station, you got a chance to be on an installation where fresh out of basic training, you're watching these trainees. And y'all, when the female, and this was the first time I got it, because when I went in, I was a combat engineer. And at that time, women were not allowed in combat roles. Okay. So you didn't see women on our, they weren't, if you were a combat anything, you're not going to see a woman come through training with you. So this was the first time I got a chance to see a female drill sergeant. And I love their hats. Like they didn't have the brown rounds like the men. They had the Jones that hipped up on them, pinned on this. Fire. They would come down the street. And I'm telling you right now, they would be on their troops in ways that I felt like the men gave us a break. I swear. I'm like, that's the most. Drill sergeant. You're in the room, Sergeant Major. How are you? Happy Women's Veterans Day, impromptu. Quick story, whether it be about the room, quick story in the military. How in the world did you navigate that for 29 years, lady?
So thank you so much, Coach, for bringing me to the stage. Hopefully y'all can hear me because I am driving to work.
We can, yeah.
Yeah, I'm driving to work right now, so hopefully I don't get cut off on some spots here. But 29 years, had a wonderful career, with some ups and downs. Engineer by trade as well, so it was always hard because I was always the only Black female in leadership positions. But I can say this, as a drill sergeant, that was one of my best positions and roles that I had in the military because you get to see how you mold and shape and train people and from the time that they start. And I did basic training and I did AIT. So I did 3 years on the trail, 2 years basic, 1 year AIT. And you just see the difference that you make in people. And yes, female drills, especially if you kind of petite in stature like myself, you have to be hard. You have to be mean because you got to think about it. You have these males, especially in AIT, that are way bigger than you, way stronger than you. But I'm telling you, I used to have men 6'4" crying, boo-hooing, tears dropping.
Listen.
Because I done bust them down to nothing. because they wanted to act like they really had it going on, and it was like, hey, it's a female drill, I can get over. They never got over on me. And so my soldiers, this is when The Lion King first came out. And every time I would come into the room, they would be like, Mufasa, Mufasa. And everybody would run to the side because they know I didn't play. You know, I didn't play, but I was fear. And that's one thing that they knew, that, hey, they can come to My Name is Johnson and Drill Sergeant Johnson at that time. And they knew that I was fear and I was going to take care of them. But I was going to make sure that they stayed disciplined and they did what they were supposed to do to succeed.
Listen.
Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Hard work.
Let's get it.
Hard work.
Listen, let me tell you something right now. Look. Those drill sergeants, we had a drill sergeant, you talking about small in stature, Yolanda, two, Sergeant Baumgardner. Why can't I forget these people? And
I know him.
I can't forget their names. You know, well, I don't know if it was the same Baumgardner, Yolanda. I don't know. Really?
It's the same one.
That's a pretty rare name.
It's kind of a rare name. Listen, these jokers would play games with you because they were shorter than others, and in some cases, shorter than most. I had a drill sergeant. He had to be 5'2", 5'3". This joker would make folk get on their knees while he talked to them. Let me explain something to you, soldier. Get down here on your knees. Let me explain. Let me talk to you. Then let me. And he would get in. Now instead of him looking, up, he can step back and look eye to eye. He still technically is looking up because he's really that short. But it was crazy. I think it was the mental game that people just couldn't deal with that, Yolanda.
So, Coach, I'm going to say this. It's all mental. So I would do the same thing. I would have soldiers come into my office, shut the door, turn the heat up, make sure they had rifles, and we would do rifle drills in the heat.
Listen.
So people pass out.
Listen, I've been a part of that. I remember one time we would have CQ, it stands for Charge of Quarters, where the trainees have to pull guard duty, right? Throughout the middle of the night. And you're simulating you being in the field and there's a real enemy. But it ain't nothing but you think of, if you're in college, you are the dorm, the resident assistant, if you will. All right. Same kind of thing. But you had a drill sergeant who, was in charge, but the trainee would pull the duty. Well, one day the drill sergeant's pizza went missing, or at least a slice of it, because he had pizza the night before, and you got a trainee that's kind of up all night and there's a slice missing. Come 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, guy gets up and he's like, where's my pizza? He wakes everybody up and we're going to find his pizza. It's raining outside, y'all. We're in the Ozark Mountains. It is in December. Do you know what rain in December in the Ozarks feels like? It feels like needles piercing through your skin. Now, before we get up out of here, ladies, now there were no ladies in the entire unit. Ladies, before we're going to find who took my pizza. That's what we're going to do. And until we do, we're going to have a little exercise. They called it going to the spa. And I'm telling you, that whole Major Payne satire, that was real. What y'all not going to do, ladies? And this joker had us doing push-ups in like 30-degree weather. And I'm like, this is not right.
Oh, the worst experience for me was at Fort Jackson. They had them fire ants.
Lord
and
Jesus.
You talk about crybaby. I feel like they tortured me. I was this little scrawny size 0 kid when I joined the military, you guys. And they made me do push-ups, of course. I wasn't, I was okay with that. My hand was in the fire ant pile. And every time I would try to move and shake my hands off, I got in even more trouble. So finally, I just kind of laid there and cried until they started seeing the fire ants coming all on my arm. And it was they got in deep trouble for that, but it was a mess. Like I don't think, and no offense to drill sergeants, I don't think it feels like they don't care at all. You'd be like, dang, like I'm over here dying with fire ants and you're still making me push.
So, Rocky, I'm going to say this. We do care. It's just, it's all the mind game. And we're trying to push you to your limit to see if you will stay in the game.
With a swollen
Yeah, I agree.
hand.
Look, all
Yeah,
that.
I agree with
With a
Yolanda. I do
swollen
think,
hand.
yeah,
Stay in the game
it's
with the
all
swollen hand.
it's mental. I mean, because like my nightmare drill sergeant, I'll never forget Sergeant Pogue. She was like 5 feet tall, and she was like the meanest of the meanest when it came to, you know, just pushing us. But there was a situation that happened with me during boot camp. They discovered I had a heart murmur, and they were actually trying to discharge me because they said I didn't tell them, but I didn't know I had it. They detected it while I was there. And she gave me the opportunity. One night, I'll never remember, one night we were in the barracks, we were asleep, and she came and got me. And because I think somehow, I don't know how we had a conversation before, but she was like, you know, do you want to call your parents to let them know what's going on? And she let me call. And what she didn't know was that my dad worked at the Pentagon. And so my dad was able to make some calls and work some things out. So I wound up not getting put out for the heart murmur. They let me finish because they had put me on light duty. I wasn't able to do the training. And I actually had to run my PT drill like the week before graduation, but I had sat down for like 4 weeks, not doing any PT. But and that's what I say, they do care, because she came and got me, and like she knew I was distraught when they put me on light duty, because it's like, I've worked for this and now y'all not gonna let me finish. And you know, so they do care. They're doing a job. And that was the thing, like I realized going in, because my dad he was in the Air Force, had been in the Air Force, and him working at the Pentagon, I had been around military people all my life. So I knew that this was all a mind game. And that's why I said, like, for me going in, that stuff never really bothered me. But you have to be prepared for that mentally. And that's the thing. I think kids today, particularly, they're not prepared mentally to go into that.
Y'all are comparing mental torture to somebody's hand being in a fire ant
Rocky
pile.
is back at the fire ants in the hand.
Like,
no, I understand what you're saying. But like you said, when they realized that was the case, they stopped.
They should have pulled up.
They didn't.
But I did. And this is not, this is for not all, of course. I did have that drill sergeant as well, because when I came in, I had Rory. I was a single mom, and it got to a point I got super depressed. I couldn't get in line for the phone. Remember, we had to wait in line for the payphone. Couldn't talk to my kids. It had been weeks, and I remember they were supposed to hold our mail. She came upstairs and she said, "I'm not supposed to give you these, but here's all your mail from your daughter." And it was all the pictures of my child, and she did that for me. And I never, Drill Sergeant Simon, short Jamaican drill sergeant, she was amazing, and she did that for me, and I still remember her to this day. So yeah, absolutely, I agree. Just not the fire ant pile.
Yeah, no, and let's just say this on the front end: all drill sergeants are not created equal. All right, so I can promise you that. I can promise you they're not. They should do, but they don't in many cases. I had a drill sergeant one time in the AIT, Yolanda, that found out I was a believer. And he asked me, and kind of got close, and we talked a lot. And he said, kind of found out the kind of church I was used to growing. He said, "What would it look like if I worked it out for you to be able to go off post to go to church on Sundays, to a kind of church that you would be really, really comfortable in going to a place that felt more like home?" And I said, "Would you?" He said, "Yeah, you've been handling your business, and I'm getting ready. I just graduated basic. I was in AIT, but when I graduated basic, I graduated honor unit with distinction, which meant it was the only time in my life that I graduated top of anything. So I was the top of my class, if you will. I got to march the troops during our graduation and all of that kind of stuff. And he was like, "No, Brooks, you handling your business." And so, no, we're going to work that out. Turns out that an AIT instructor would come by, pick me up in a tricked out Datsun 280ZX Turbo. All of the troops was like, "Yo, he gets to go there. That's not." Then we would go to church, and every day on our way back from church, we would stop at Wendy's. What no other trainee or soldier getting a chance to do that at all. Boy, I'm telling you right now, I would order me 2 doubles. You understand me? It was a whole, the thing was, you got to have it eaten before we get back to the barracks. And listen. So yeah, all drill sergeants are not created equal. Yolanda Tate, you were Sergeant Jones back then? Is that who it was?
So I was Drill Sergeant Johnson back then. Johnson back then. So that's a whole nother story. That was first marriage. So we'll keep on moving.
We'll keep it moving. You silly.
But yeah, that was one of the best assignments that I had, because you truly do make an impact in people's lives. And like Rocky mentioned and you mentioned, you remember your drill sergeant, whether they were good or bad. You remember who your drill sergeant was. And then I will also say, because as a sergeant major, I went through battalion command. I was at Fort Carson for my battalion time, where I deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan and took the engineer battalion and did some great things. Also lost some soldiers during that time, but that was awesome. And then my brigade time I did as the garrison sergeant major of Fort Bragg, which is now Fort Liberty. So that was one of my best assignments as well, because I got to do a lot across the installation, did a lot of great soldiers, family members, all that good stuff, run events, did a lot in the Fayetteville community. And then my last assignment, I was the Pacific Ocean Division Corps of Engineers Sergeant Major in Hawaii, and I was responsible for all of the Pacific. So, yeah, so I had a great experience and time in the military, but the sad part about it, even in the engineer branch and especially other branches, it's not that many females in leadership, and so still struggling. I am still the only female that made it all the way up to division level. I mean, yeah, I'm proud of it, and it's opened the doors, and we've gotten other females in the engineer branch to brigade level as a command sergeant major, but it's still an upward battle, and it's hard for them nowadays. I would not want to be in the military right now. It's just a lot going on.
I'm gonna tell you, no, Yolanda, shout out, and for those of you guys just pulling up, we just want to say thanks to Jill for reminding us that today is Veterans Day for female veterans, and we just wanted to shout out all of our female veterans. If you're just pulling up in the room, yeah, this will take some of y'all back.
Don't let me down, pump it up, all around, for 2 days, 2 days, 96, for 2 days, 2 days, 96.
Let's go. I love it.
Oh yeah, and Yolanda, Vietnam was my stomping ground. I was stationed there, but I was always there.
Did she call it Vietnam? Oh my God, Rocky, you going back? Vietnam. Good God Almighty. Oh boy, I didn't expect this room to go this way.
I love Vietnam. That is my stomping ground too. So I did a lot of time 18 Airborne Corps, 82nd, and so I am.
Y'all, Yolanda jumped out a perfectly good flying aircraft for no reason, none at all. Listen, yes, just because that was a good day. Airborne. I absolutely love it, y'all. I'm telling you right now. Something about this room, we have created a community here that allows us the freedom and the latitude, y'all, to just pull up and catch a vibe and hang out and talk about life, talk about business. We've been doing it for 2.5 years. This is the season finale for the second season. All week this week, do me a favor, invite somebody, particularly if they've not been in the room in a while, because we just want to share stories. That's all we're doing. We're going to give you guys some instructions while we are away. The show will be on hiatus, and I'll say this again. We are not leaving the application. I can't say that enough. I think that a lot of people, again, we talked about, y'all ain't reading. We ain't reading the emails. You're not, like, all you got to do is look at the profile pics. There's a date. There's a time. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, we're talking season finale. We're going to be on hiatus right after this. And you guys, Cherie, can you talk to them a little bit about where they can find us while we're away from the app and not doing live shows?
Yes, so this week is our season finale for the second season of the morning show that goes this week, Monday, today, June 12th through this Friday, June 16th. After that, from Monday, June the 19th until Friday, July the 28th, so the remainder of June through the remainder of July, you'll be able to view us on KBCN, where they will be streaming the best of the morning show from season 2. So you can catch that on KBCN, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, or you can go to Glenn P. Brooks Jr. Yeah, Glenn P. Brooks Jr. on YouTube, and also KBCN on Facebook, so that you can still catch a show every day, Monday through Friday. It'll be streaming from one of the best of from this season during that time. We will be back live. We will be back live here on Clubhouse, as well as on all of the video streaming platforms on Monday, July the 31st. Season 3 will relaunch on Monday, July 31st, and we'll be back live here on Clubhouse as well as on all video platforms on Monday, July the 31st.
Appreciate it. Listen, guys, for those of you guys who are, again, women veterans, want to say thank you across all branches of service for your service. You guys blaze the trail. You put up with some stuff that, quite frankly, should never have to be put up with at all. I witnessed some of this stuff, and it was just not a good look, particularly that time of the year. In time of when I came through, there was a lot of change, and people weren't accepting that. And so I'm just grateful to see that, times have evolved. We still got work to do. But again, shout out to all my women veterans. Appreciate my sisters in arms. Let's go. It's 8:35, 35 minutes after the 8 o'clock hour. We're getting ready to get out of here for the day. Here's what I know to be true. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully Chris can pull up with us. Listen, it'll be a Teach Me Tuesday. We're going to finish out with a We All Need Some Help Wednesday. Y'all, I can't wait for our podcast this week. I'm interviewing our real estate broker in Panama. He's also our tour guide that's personally taking us around. And so it just so happened that it got scheduled this way. We didn't plan this. So I'm excited that Mike Kelly will be pulling up live from Panama City, Panama. And we're going to talk about some things. Yep, we are moving. We got about 17 days in a wake up. Y'all stay close to my Instagram. We're going to be showing you all the things, my stories. At the end of the day, here's what we know to be true. You can't get to any place of significance by yourself because we all need some help. Y'all crazy. Y'all be good. The room will close when the music does. We'll see y'all tomorrow.